Hi everybody, I am at my parents' house and I am excited to introduce you to my mom and dad. Specifically, I want you to meet my dad because he's a big part of Living Well and we are launching his course on your personal purpose, and I just can't wait for you to meet him, so come on in. Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good to see you.
Okay, let's go in here. I'm so excited to have you meet one of the most important people in my life, my dad, Will Davis. It's true to say that if it were not for my dad, Living Well would not be what it is today. And that's because for my entire life, his passion around helping individuals, families, businesses, find their noble why, find their purpose, to be able to articulate that purpose, and then to be able to live by it. This is the influence and inspiration that has colored my world for my entire life. And so when I thought about what kind of work does Living Well do? What are the most important components of a life well lived? I knew that I really needed to include the most passionate person I know around this topic of purpose, and that is my dad. Welcome.
Hi, Jen.
Hi.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, I would love for everybody to know more about your story. And so would you mind just telling us a little bit about where this drive for helping others, especially in the corporate and business world, but then of course, as that spills over to the individuals, where this came from for you?
Not a short answer, but the shortest I can make it would be, I found going to work in the big world's environment not much fun. It was very difficult for me to spend an hour and a half in a commute every day when I had 3 kids and a wife at home, and that was kind of a waste of time for me. And even my work felt like a waste of time. And I compared that to my own dad, who was a pastor, and I often tell people, here's a guy whose maximum salary, his entire 62-year career, was $14,400 a year. He raised 5 kids on it. And I don't remember being poor. But we were poor. I just don't remember it. And I don't remember my dad ever not feeling like he was doing what he was supposed to be doing. He would say, I felt called into my work. And I thought that was a funny way to talk about getting prepared to go to work every day, but he felt called to be in his work. And I really envied him. I wanted to have a sense of purpose with my work. But one thing I knew for sure, I was not called into pastoral ministry. You know I don't have the patience for it. But I admired and appreciated and envied the fact, his sense of purpose and his intentionality. And I realized I didn't have it. And I just personally had never spent any time being intentional about thinking about, what do you want to do with your life? Is this all there is? So, blame my dad probably.
Well, when people ask me why I'm so passionate about pouring into the lives of other people and really helping people live on purpose, I always say, blame my dad. What is like the most common roadblock that you see to people really knowing their purpose, number one, and living out their purpose?
I think the roadblock to living it out is not knowing it.
Okay, fair.
And the roadblock to knowing it is, I think, too few people actually ask. I wonder what it is. It doesn't come in a prepackaged box that says, open this box and you'll figure out what your purpose is. You have to actually, the box is you, and asking the right questions, getting kind of the right framework to do that. The most gratifying thing that happens when I provide this type of service to somebody is, they're in the middle of their work, and it could be a big corporate world, it could be a small entrepreneurial thing, it could be a stay-at-home mom, it can be whatever, any role, but they're miserable. But it can be really frustrating, really hard. Going to work every day, it's really frustrating, really hard. How do you do it? So they come, they're interested in getting a more satisfying work experience. And quite often, once they figure out, oh, I have forgotten my why. And if they remember their why, then they say, oh, you know what? I was majoring in the minors. And if I go back to majoring in the majors, the joy and satisfaction is there. It's not in every single thing you do, of course, but the majority of the preponderance of what you do is in the direction of what really satisfies you. In my understanding of the way the world was created, work was intended to be a blessing. We messed it up, but the work is intended to be a blessing. We're supposed to enjoy it. It's the primary way that we grow fully into the people we're actually created to be. So I just want to encourage that process wherever I can, however I can. This particular aspect of my coaching is one of the areas I've been able to, I feel like I've been able to do that for some people. It's been really helpful, really fun. Some people do self-select out of their current role, and that's healthy. It takes some courage, it takes some resolve to do it. That's healthy. But for the most part, what I found is the satisfaction you seek is where you are. We have to change our perspective on what it is that role is actually calling us to do and find ways to meet our personal purpose in that role. That you don't always have to change jobs to find it.
Sure.
Most of the time people do not. But when they do work on purpose, changes everything about work.
Does everyone have a unique purpose?
So, I believe so, probably. I'm not God. I don't know. We all have similar purposes. At the highest level is to serve other people, to love other people so much that we put their goodwill ahead of our own. That's what we all have in common. How that gets expressed, now that's a unique combination of our intellect, our personalities, the gifts, talents, and abilities that the package is us. And then it depends a lot on how well you hone those gifts, talents. They're gifts and talents, but they're not skills until we hone them and make them worthwhile to somebody else. That's why doing it for somebody else is so important.
We were at Ruby Tuesdays, and I said to you, I go, Dad, I was really lamenting the fact that I was stepping out of ministry and into fashion because they seemed so different from each other. And I was really struggling with this decision. And I was like, I just don't know I basically said, I don't know if it's okay if I go from ministry into fashion. And you know, you are like the most encouraging, gentle person on the planet, but this is what you said. Have I taught you nothing? And it was like, as soon as you said it, I was like, oh yeah, my whole fundamental life has been that our purpose plays where we are, whether that's in the church or in the home, or in the corporate office, or in fashion, or in coaching. And so anyway, it was a fun moment.
That's
okay.
Awesome.
Well, what do you hope for the people who take this course? It's your first online course.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're excited to see how it goes, but what do you hope for the people that decide, yeah, I want to know more about my purpose and how to find that clarified statement?
I think we're supposed to help each other grow. And I don't think we can do that unless we're totally honest with ourselves. Getting clear on your purpose may be one of the most honest things you have to do. But if you start with that and you can stay with it, I believe you have the opportunity to grow. And that's a stewardship issue for me, making the most you can out of whatever you've been given to do. We've been given our lives. What are you going to do with it? And then the acid test for what you're going to do with it is, who's it help? Who's it help? Yeah. And if it only helps you, it isn't going to be a very satisfying thing. And I'm all about helping all of us, myself included, continue to learn, continue to become, and have a really good accountability when I'm asked the final question, what'd you do with your life?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Isn't my dad so cool? Isn't my dad so cool? You're so cool. I am so grateful that this dream that was planted in my heart to help people know who they are, what they were created to do with their life and how to show up really well. Like, it's happening, it's starting, and your course is fundamental to fulfilling the mission of Living Well. It just is. And without it, Living Well wouldn't be this. So I love you so much. I want everyone to take the course and do the work. It is so good, and it will change. Be ready. It will change. It will change everything. So thanks for meeting my dad. See ya.
Thank you all.